Hey everybody, this is Kurt from EthosReviews. Now today is something a little special, and I'm going to basically talk about my own personal video game collection. Now this video really is just for fun, no particular reason why, but just thought I'd share to you, the viewer, my own personal collection, and basically to, maybe get some interest in what your collection is like. It's kind of part of this sort of gaming community, I guess, if you will. Just always curious of what other people have, and, share and exchange thoughts and ideas about different types of video games and whatnot, so it's always interesting. But I've been collecting for a pretty long time now, about the past 20 years, since I was really a little kid, so yeah, I mean, there's quite a few things that have been acquired over the past few years, so why don't we just take a quick look around and get a feel for everything. Okay, best place to start is obviously the good old NES collection, and you probably saw this on the NES video review if you happened to see that I pretty much revealed the entire NES collection to you. So there's quite a bit here, and it's actually all alphabetized. It's just quite a bit here. Some classics like there's good old Double Dragon, and there's some cult classics like Journey to Silius. Plenty of other great games like Pro Wrestling and good old Jackal. So I mean, there's a couple of cult classics in here that you may or may not know, but obviously, I mean, these are some good games out there. If you take a look at the next in the second tier, I have a lot of my Nintendo 64 games. Thankfully, I kept most of the boxes for them. Like back in the day, you never thought that some of these boxes were actually worth anything, or even thought they were just silly packaging you throw in the garbage. And for most part, you see a lot of the NES games don't have the box, but these, for some reason, I decided to keep. And even some of these Super Nintendo games, I ended up keeping the boxes after all these years. They've taken their fair shares of abuse, as you see, but for the most part, they've survived, and it's pretty cool. And plenty of loose N64 games here, more down there, and well, those just fell. That's okay. And there's some DS games mixed in here. There's a whole thing of Super Nintendo games down here and whatnot. The whole row there. There's some more DS games, a couple of Game Boy Advance, but I don't really collect that many of those, at least not yet. And there's some original Game Boy games. I do have more, but they're actually in a different location altogether. But yeah, this is the second. The next tier of games I have. A lot of the original Xbox games are here. Then there's a lot of PlayStation 2. Obviously the classics like Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. Then you have the Max Payne, some of my favorite games ever. Then over here are some more GameCube games. Don't have a ton of these, but I think GameCube now has a new life thanks to the Nintendo Wii. And here's a select few Sega Saturn games. I have a couple of mixed in over here as well, including that Knight's Journey into Dreams game. And of course, only very few Sony PlayStation 1 games, but one of the best, and the best, is Metal Gear Solid right there. Up on the very top, I keep generally the most sacred games in this collection. This is like the original Marios 1, 2, and 3. There's Kirby, some of the earlier Mega Mans, Castlevania, Tetris, and whatnot. And over here I have some of the better Super Nintendo games that I own, be it Final Fantasy III or Star Fox and A Link to the Past, Castlevania 4, Mario All-Stars with the Funko-Land sleeves, and Kirby Superstar as well. So, pretty elite Super Nintendo collection I keep up here. Yeah, there's my Sony PSP. So this I just got this fairly recently, so the collection for this is rather small. A lot of these games I actually got on the cheap, on clearance, which is great. But overall, so far, the PSP, pretty darn cool. As you can see here, this is the Wii collection, Xbox 360, and then of course the Sony PlayStation 3. And these are some of the best games that I own. As you can see here, I have a fairly small Sega Genesis collection, but I would say it's a decent one. I gotta say, I actually have a pretty decent Atari 2600 collection. I bought a lot of these games all at the same time, and you know what? I gotta thank Kevin for the hookup, and without you, I would have never been able to play Plaque Attack. Here, even in my modest book collection, I have, well, let's take a look. Now, of course, I have some regular books here and whatnot, and also some great literature like Dante's Inferno or John Milton's Paradise Lost, Edgar Allan Poe, but there's also a lot of strategy guides, video game strategy guides, be it Fallout 3 or Metal Gear Solid 4, some of the Mario Galaxies. And then you look here, there's the Game Genie book. Ah, yes, the systems. Well, let's have a quick roll call. There's the Xbox 360, there's the NES 2, there's the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, NES, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, there's the Genesis 3, I have the original Genesis in the back somewhere, there's the Nintendo Wii, I also have a GameCube elsewhere, and the Atari 2600. I'd also like to thank Organized Remains for this idea. This is called Backloggery. It's a website where you can document all the games you own, and I've just started one fairly recently for EthosReviews. And obviously I have not gotten very far yet. I only have like, what, 7 games listed, but clearly I have more than that. But you know, it's a very interesting website where it's just kind of fun. You know, you can talk about games that you had that have gone unfinished, games you have beaten, completed. You can talk about whether you've mastered them or not. It breaks it down into categories of systems and whatnot. So I mean, I'm still early on in this process, very much early on. But yeah, this is a very cool website. Check it out. Alright, so there you have it. That is my game collection in a nutshell. Now, of course, it was rather abrupt here at times, but there's only so much time you have in a video to talk about all the different games that you have. So I just kind of gave you a quick little perspective on everything. But in any case, I appreciate you all watching, and I hope to be back next time with a game review. But today, this was just sort of for fun, really. Like, considered an exhibition video. But anyway, so see you next time then. But until then, I'd like to offer you to visit our website, EthosReviews.angelfire.com. Check out all the newest and latest written reviews by myself and RB. But until then, we'll see you next time, and thank you again for watching.